Does anyone else miss going on holidays to France? As Brits living in the UK, it's pretty easy. You just rock up in your car, park up on the Eurostar, and you're on your way to the land of cheese, baguettes, and croissants.
Stop! I could have dropped my croissant!
As well as stunning countrysides. Only one problem. Well, ignoring the obvious challenges that certain viruses, who asked to remain anonymous of course, until the Eurostar tunnel, Brits had to fly, sail, or even in some cases swim to France in order to enjoy their holidays. But we often found ourselves wondering, was there a better option? And so the Eurostar was born of our ingenuity and the need to get slowly burned to a crisp on a beach over our holidays. But here's the £4.65 billion question. How did they do it? Well, let's dive in. First off, for those of you who haven't caught on yet, the Channel Tunnel that the Eurostar travels through, often nicknamed the Chunnel, is a submarine tunnel linking the southernmost part of England to the northernmost part of France. The tunnel itself is operated by a company called Getlink, whilst Eurostar is a completely separate company that runs transport through the tunnel for passengers between London and other European cities on the continent. Surprisingly, the Channel Tunnel we have today was not the first proposed transport link between England and France. In fact, proposals for an underwater tunnel went back as far as 1802, when a Frenchman by the name of Albert Mathieu Favier, a French mining engineer, put forward the idea of a tunnel for horse-drawn carts, in a two-tiered design, the lower level for groundwater flow, with the top level for the carriages themselves, lit by oil lamps. He even suggested an artificial island be built mid-channel for changing over horses. Now that's forward thinking. Further ideas were presented through years 1839 to 1940, until both the French and English governments agreed to start the construction of the tunnel in 1964. Psst! Also, just so you know, our channel now has a Twitter account. If you want to get in contact about any feedback or video requests, just search @OnTheSideTrack and click on this profile pic. Also, feel free to follow to receive notifications about our upcoming videos. Now, back to the video. Although there were delays due to changes of political leadership and therefore opinions of the tunnel on the British side, construction eventually began for real in 1988, with 11 tunnel boring machines working from both the French and English sides. The idea was to have 3 separate tunnels, 2 train lines for freight and passengers, and a separate service tunnel. In total, over the 6 years of construction, 10 workers were killed, 8 of them British, most in the first few months of boring. The tunnel boring machines, or TBMs, were far from boring themselves. They were designed to cut through the chalk, collect the debris from the digging, and transport the debris behind it using conveyor belts. The resulting matter, known as spoil, would then be transported by railroads away from the British end, or mixed with water and pumped through pipes on the French end. On December 1st, 1990, the 2 tunnel boring teams met in the middle of the tunnel, and on May 6, 1994, after internal construction of the tunnel was completed, it was opened in Calais by Queen Elizabeth II and the French president at the time, François Mitterrand. The tunnel did not start their full public services for several months.
Several months later.
But the first freight train that crossed through the tunnel ran on June 1st of the same year, carrying Mini and Rover cars for export to Italy. In that same year, the American Society of Civil Engineers elected the tunnel as one of the 7 modern wonders of the world.